The golden walls of Mar-a-Lago are now closing in on Donald Trump. So, Joe Rogan and Tim Pool have come out today to announce their support for RFK Jr., which is absolutely insane. How any grown adult could support RFK is beyond my comprehension. But this is bad for Donald J. Trump, because when you combine the fact that Joe Biden dropped out, Kamala stepped up, she picked up like the best possible running mate in Tim Walz, it's not looking good for Trump. And Trump has come out publicly and attacked Joe Rogan on Truth Social for picking RFK. So Tim Pool on Twitter says, okay, I'm voting for RFK Jr. now. Now, to be fair, Tim Pool for the last month has been trolling. He's been posting things on Twitter he doesn't actually believe as a joke. Not my kind of humor, but okay. Do I think Tim Pool is actually serious? No, I can't tell. To be fair to Tim Pool, he spent the last month posting things that just don't reflect his actual views. I can't say for sure whether he actually believes it or not, but regardless of Tim Pool's individual belief in RFK Jr., when you have a platform like Tim Pool's and you've been carrying the most disgusting sewage water for Trump since 2016, you probably shouldn't come out and say stuff like, okay, I'm voting for RFK Jr. now. Especially given the fact that there is zero, and The Rock means zero, overlap between RFK and Kamala Harris's voting bases. There is no overlap between the two. You responsible, amazing American adults watching this channel, but I know ain't none of y'all, 98% of y'all are not even like thinking of voting for RFK. For Tim Pool to publicly come out and say that, regardless of whether it's a joke or not, is dangerous. Very dangerous for the Trump campaign, in conjunction with Joe Rogan publicly coming out and endorsing RFK Jr.
That's what they do. That's politics. They do it on the left. They do it on the right. They gaslight you. They manipulate you. They promote narratives. And the only one who's not doing that is Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
You a fan?
Yeah, I am a fan. Yeah, he's the only one that makes sense to me. He's the only one that he doesn't attack people. He attacks actions and ideas, but he's much more reasonable and intelligent. I mean, the guy was an environmental attorney and cleaned up the East River. I mean, he's a legitimate guy.
I can tell you this much. RFK, regardless of how polite, nice, and likable he might be, RFK is divorced from reality. RFK spreads unbelievable amounts of misinformation about Ukraine on a daily basis, selling Americans fantasy foreign policy that will never be enacted. RFK, along with Tulsi Gabbard, Russell Brand, and the entire just assembly of assholes, have convinced so many Americans that Vladimir Putin is somehow the victim, Russia are the victims, somehow NATO is the bad guy, despite every single inch of studying one could do about the conflict shows otherwise. RFK is a serious danger to American politics. He's clearly not mentally well. With all due respect to the man, he had a worm in his brain, according to him and according to medical professionals he consulted with. The man apparently consumed so many tuna fish sandwiches that it did damage to his brain because of the heavy metal content within his bloodstream. RFK, no. Okay, we just Joe Biden just dropped out because he was physically and mentally incapable of going for another presidency. And physically and mentally incapable of Blues Cluesing his way through all of Donald Trump's lies. The last thing we need after having Joe Biden, an incredibly experienced but very old statesman, Donald Trump, an elderly gang member, and then, like, RFK, a man who's clinging to what's left of his brain, stop. Joe Rogan, stop. Now, here's the main event of the evening. Joe Rogan got, turned up on by Donald Trump. Donald Trump was not happy with Joe Rogan's commentary about RFK. So Donald Trump said this. Dusty Donnie says this: it will be interesting to see how loudly Joe Rogan gets booed the next time he enters the UFC ring. Question mark times 3. MAGA 2024. Who is retruthing? Bruh, bruh, tell the truth. Which one of y'all is retruthing Donald? Bro, who is on there interacting with this man? Stop responding to him. Stop retruthing this man? Stop. Please. Who is retruthing Donald John Trump? Stop. This needs to stop. I don't know who it is doing it, but please, for the rest of humanity, cease and desist, okay? Stop retruthing him. You're not, like, bro, like, this is not funny. But you know what's really funny? Is Donald Trump is so steeped in his narcissism and his, just... I say this fairly because he is a very wealthy man, famous man. He's the former president, unfortunately, of the United States. Donald Trump has a very overinflated sense of ego as it pertains to this situation. Donald Trump, you may get a really loud applause every time you walk into an arena for the UFC events with Dana White, but let me tell you, UFC fans are not picking you over Joe Rogan. So you can sit there and you can truth Joe Rogan into oblivion and shit on him and talk shit about him. But the reality is, you will never, ever, ever get the UFC fan base to turn on Joe Rogan. You could just go on ahead and wrap that one up because it's never gonna happen. Let it go. It's just never gonna happen. You will never get real MMA fans, UFC or otherwise, whether it's Bellator or any other promotion. You will never. Maybe you might be able to get Conor McGregor to curse out Joe Rogan, but like outside of McGregor, well, actually, Conor just cussed you out like 2 days ago. So I don't know if you'll be able to even pull that one off. You will never, Donald, be able to turn the UFC fan base against Joe Rogan. But this, you want to know why Donald is doing this? Number one, he's spiraling. Donald Trump is coping with the fact that it's over. It's over. I can feel the energy in the air. You know, you can like tell what the rest of society is thinking. You could just feel the collective consciousness. I feel like a crystal girl, like, rising and the, sun rising and, you know what I'm saying, bro? But you know what I'm saying, though. I could tell, I could feel it in the energy. Bro, Trump is not, the momentum is gone. Harris took all that momentum after the attempted, assassination. All that momentum is gone. Walz and Harris completely took it away from him. Donald Trump is spiraling. The last thing he needs to be doing is having a Mexican standoff with right-wing media. Beefing with Joe Rogan. I don't think he's called out Tim Pool just yet, but this kind of behavior from Donald, you can't afford this. Donald, you can't afford to be getting involved in these kind of little spats and all of that. You can't do that. But keep it up, though. Keep it up, though. I'm rooting for you. Keep cussing out Joe Rogan. Keep it up. The reality is, number one, Donald is spiraling. Number two, Donald Trump is not trying to win this election fair and square. Donald Trump has multiple stooges installed into state government, multiple, compromised Congress members who are willing to do his bidding, conniving Congress, excluding the Republican the establishment. We're gonna use that word we're gonna brag about that word. We're gonna reclaim that word. The establishment Republicans, I love them, are Democrats. Them, when I say conniving Congress, I'm not talking about them, but I am talking about conniving Congress MAGA. The MAGA loyalists. Those individuals in Congress, Donald Trump is counting on them to try to steal the election for him. The Supreme Court, the seditious six, not all, but just the six of them, Donald Trump is counting on them to aid and abet him in another attempt to steal the election legally. Donald Trump is not taking this election seriously because he's going to try to cheat. The end. Is he spiraling? Yes, Donnie is spiraling. Is he spiraling and also not plotting another coup? No, he's definitely plotting another coup, guys. I hate to say it, but he is. I spoke about this 2 days ago. Donald Trump is plotting another attempt to take the election away from you. That is why it is so important for us to spread this information. It is important because, let me tell y'all something. MAGA, they're all convinced the election will be stolen from them. They're in a completely different world. They're divorced from reality. But it is important for us, those of us who know about this, to tell our friends and family. You gotta inform friends and family so that they're as informed. Because MAGA, all of them think it's gonna be stolen. But we know who the actual thieves are. Donald Trump and friends. We know who the thieves are. So it's very important for our side to be aware of the upcoming theft or attempted theft, because Joe Biden, if it comes to him having to use some serious like emergency powers, he needs as much public support as possible to pull it off. If one half of the public is like, I don't know what's going on, and the other half is battery in the back, insane, driven by Trump's lies, Joe Biden is not going to have enough public support to do what he needs to do. Share this information. Make sure your friends know Trump and them is going to try to steal the election because crime is all he knows. That's all he knows is crime. He's a gang member. Donald Trump is a gang member. It's just the truth. It's just all the gang signs and all that. We all see it. Donald Trump is a criminal. And he's not just any kind of criminal. This man tried to steal an election from the United States. He could have stolen an Xbox. He could have stolen anything other than an election, bro. Why? Why? Anyways, Donald Trump is spiraling, declaring figurative war on Joe Rogan, saying it's going to be interesting to see how loudly Joe Rogan gets booed the next time he enters the UFC ring, which, you know, he means octagon. He's so delusional. Bro, you're not that loved, okay? There are some spaces you cannot take over. There's no reality in which you're going to get supported over Joe Rogan at the UFC. Joe Rogan has been there since literally day one. Like, you are never, ever gonna ever oust Unc. Never. It's never gonna happen. This should be a sign for Donald that it's time to wrap it up. The more and more support Donald Trump loses, the harder it's gonna be for him to convince the American people it was stolen. So tell your friends and family about what he's planning, and also let's revel in this, because the more public, conservatives come out and say Trump's not gonna win, the crazier it will be when him and the rest of his lackeys try to steal the election. Nick Fuentes has lost faith in Trump. Joe Rogan has lost faith in Trump. Tim Pool is, I guess, meaning that he's lost faith in Trump, but he really should not be doing that at a time like this because Trump needs as much support as humanly possible. But needless to say, rest assured, Donnie is spiraling. If you like the video, be sure... Why is Pray for Trump trending on Twitter right now? Is it that bad? Is it that bad for Unc right now to pray for Trump? Oh my God, this better not be bad news. This better not be something crazy. Yo, he's spiraling so bad. Pray for Trump is literally trending as I'm making this video for y'all. Donnie, bro, what the... All this man had to do was just never run for office. He could have retired an American hero from his, billionaire company. Like, this timeline is insane. This timeline is so crazy. If you like the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe as well. Thank you.